All right, we are back with Pat Scheckel. Hi, Pat.
I,
Well, Pat is known to us and a friend of the pod and a friend of WWA. And I believe you said this is your third year as a camper
that's right.
at Novel in Progress Boot Camp. Let's start with that. Let's tell us a little bit about what made you keep coming back.
I had a great experience my first year. I did the book coach program, and where you submit a full manuscript, you get that review, and then you also can attend all the workshops and everything. And the biggest reason I keep coming back is I just find it to be incredibly intellectually stimulating. It is a packed day. It's a packed week, um, but you meet a lot of great people, and it's a way of sharpening the axe. Even if you already know how to write, it's great to get a refresher. I always learn new things as well, and the instructors and the other campers are just fantastic.
Yeah. And now I believe you are also a board member. Is that right?
I am.
Yeah.
I
Tell
am.
us how that happened.
Uh, I think they asked a bunch of people, and I was the one who said yes. Um,
High qualifications right there, right?
Yeah, I think it really has to do with they're always looking for people that to help out, kind of share the load. And I feel like I've gained so much from boot camp that I felt obligated to try to give back a little bit.
Yeah. What are you working on here this session?
I am working on the sequel to Time Stitchers,
Really?
my debut novel that is coming out in late October from WWA Press.
That's exciting.
Nice little plug, everybody.
Yeah.
You asked the question.
Yes. We teed it up for you.
Thank you. Yeah, so I very early days on that draft, and so I submitted that as part of the speculative fiction workshop track that I'm in. And so as part of that, you get lots of good feedback, both from other campers and from three different instructors. And then you have one-on-one sessions where you review that. And so I think it was really good to get into that at this point because it was really pretty rough. And there were lots of unanswered questions about even the direction of the protagonist, what the protagonist's flaw was, where to take things from here. And so I feel like I gained a lot just in getting into the story and thinking about where it needs to go next. And I have a very long punch list of what needs to happen, not just in those 5,000 words that I submitted to camp, but also beyond.
Wow, that's really great. And so which tract are you taking? Have you done the same tract each of the years or
I've done two different. So I did the book coach the first year, and that was for the novel that's coming out. And then last year and this year, I did the speculative fiction workshop.
Okay. Nice.
So what is it for this year specifically? What does a day look like for when you in the speculative fiction track?
Right. Um, the after breakfast, you start at the actual instruction starts at 9, and for the morning, it's split into two different instructors, and they're covering a particular topic, like voice or plot. And then you break for lunch, and then in the afternoon, you come together with the folks that are in the retreat and the other tracks like the all genre and so forth. And then you're getting instruction from the incomparable S.J. Roseanne. She's amazing. And Kelly Van Sant, and they're taking on another topic. And there's a lot of hands-on exercise where she's putting you on the timer for 5 minutes or 7 minutes and asking you to do an exercise. And then we often share the work, have a few laughs. And then there's often, then it keeps going with maybe another bit of instruction on craft. Although sometimes there are sessions later in the evening on the business of publishing, maybe um, a query letter workshop, contracts, publishing contract review, things like that. It goes all the way till 9, and some people even go beyond. Um,
Do you have a highlight that sticks out for you this time around so far?
the highlight for me is always those 1 o'clock sessions with SJ. I mean, she is small in stature, but massive in personality and horsepower, and she gets the most out of all of us. And I just find those exercises and that discussion to be really energizing. So we did one today where she had us write 3 minutes, and you wrote the description of a character as they got up in the morning and got ready for the day. And it was on action scenes. So you're like, okay, well, that's the setup. And you stop. And then she says, now you have 5 minutes to introduce a fight scene into the middle of that sequence. It's kind of silly, but it really works. And hilarity ensues because here's someone going to get their cornflakes, and someone breaks down their door, and now there's a fight.
I can see why that would be a fun exercise.
So yeah, it's
Who
just
cares?
and
It's so silly.
right, and that happens every afternoon in a slightly different flavor. So it's really very fun.
That is kind of hilarious. Right. So with 3 years under your belt, you probably can be considered, fairly experienced, fairly knowledgeable about this. For the speculative fiction track specifically, draw out what would be the ideal student to take that.
I think it would be someone who has some writing experience, who has been at it for a little while, that has participated in a critique group, and shared their work at least a few times, so they have an idea of how that works. Beyond that, really, anyone on their writing journey would benefit from this. And I say that because you're going through world building and voice and plot, and these are things that even an experienced writer would benefit from, but certainly a relatively beginning to intermediate writer would as well.
Yeah. I like that. It sounds like I think the way Dave described it, if I'm remembering right, is that, you have been as a writer at least a little farther, or maybe it was Ekta who said, you weren't a brand new baby writer. You had, at least put in enough effort where you could benefit from that feedback.
Yeah, I think if you were brand new, it would be a little bit challenging because there is a terminology, and then
Yeah.
there's of course the give and take, and having a little bit of emotional fortitude to be able to withstand criticism, even if it's gentle criticism of your work. The
Yeah.
first time you do that, it's scary.
Yeah. I cry. It's okay. Seriously, like it's hard to get used to, and giving
Yeah.
giving feedback is also really helpful.
It's an
I think
art.
as a writing as a
Yeah.
writer to get better at that. That's a skill that you can get better at too.
So now that you're on the board, so you kind of see this whole project from the 30,000-foot view. If you look across the next couple of years, what do you think some of the challenges will be to continue on something like this or to grow a camp like this?
I feel like the biggest challenge is getting the word out, because I think just about any writer who really wants to improve their craft would love this. And so if people really understood or even had awareness of it, I think they would want to be here. And so I think our challenge as a board is to make that, is to kick that awareness into high gear, and to grow it. This place should be, not that it's hurting for attendees, but there should be a waiting list. It's that good. It's an incredible value as well, which I think a lot of people don't realize when you compare it to other week-long camps, anywhere. It's in a beautiful setting on the shore of Lake Michigan. So yeah, I think that's really the challenge is getting the word out.
All right, writers out there, you have your mission now. Spread the word.
That's right.
Let's grow this thing. All right, Pat. Well, I want to thank you for stopping by, taking a few minutes to chat with us. Good luck the rest of the way on this.